All right, Bucky McMillan, head coach of the Samford Bulldogs, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. It's a tune-up game for them, by tune-up at Chattanooga, Bucky. Just work out the kinks and get the mocks there and see what's going on. How are you?
Doing good. You know, they were a top 40 team in the country. It's a hard team just to work kinks out on. It'd be a good road test for us.
Yeah, absolutely a good road test. Obviously, we played the cut from you after your game the other night. A switch flipped. I mean, can you go back 10 games, 11 games, and talk about why this team is so different now than they were midseason?
Well, you know, we started off really good in the non-conference. You know, we went 10-2. We beat Ole Miss, went to Oregon State. We won, had some good wins. We go home from the Ole Miss game right before Christmas. We come back, and half our team has COVID. Then we go through some injuries, and we start the league 1-6. Got everybody back healthy. It's been easy for our guys kind of to even in spite of that, when you're on the road, you're getting beat by double digits, to kind of pack it on in. But we got back healthy, stayed the course, and got really hot. And then a lot of these games at the end ended up being at home. And, man, it just took off, man. Our crowds have been unbelievable. So doing something special, and it's fun because we got a group filled primarily with freshmen and sophomores. So on the verge of doing something really special.
Well, hey, this last win, I mean, you know, what's strange about this is you guys lose by 32 earlier this year to Furman. You beat them by 8. You typically don't see a 40-point swing in the same season.
Yeah, no doubt. We were definitely getting better. You know, Furman's a really good team. They start 4 seniors, and I think 3 of them may be fifth-year guys. Our guys are really young. The reality, when that happens, the younger team has the advantage to get significantly better as the season goes along. You know, that's just the nature of it. But we also played that game without 3 of our starters the first time. So we're getting better, but you know how it is, man. To get in that NCAA tournament, you got to stay hot, and we got to have a really good 3 games up in Asheville in the SoCon tourney here in a week.
Yeah, I want to talk about your crowds and about building for the future, because you're still young at the job. Your team is young. The buzz is growing. So how do you balance winning now in the here and now, but what's out there in the future? Because there's got to be a yin and yang on building for tomorrow, but still wanting to enjoy what's happening right now. How are you managing that?
You know, it's a good question, but you know, the fact is, like, every single game, right, we've seen our players get better. And every single game, we've seen our students rally around our players. And I think that what's special right now, what's going on, is our team really kind of fits this university, because there's been times that Samford's had some good teams in the past, you know, and this team we have right now winning 20 games in the regular season has only happened 3 times in history.
Yep.
Samford's never won 10 games in the SoCon. We've done it this year. But that's probably not enough to have the whole student body rally around a group. They also have to know those people, respect those people, be good people. And so, you know, when we have guys that go to class, they interact with their classmates. When we win games, they're jumping up in the student section. It tells me that we have a team for Samford, you know, and the people of Samford are respecting that. So it's a great marriage right now. And, you know, you ask, how do we maintain that? You keep having the right kind of guys in the program. They're not bigger than the school. They're not bigger than the student body. And I think this will continue to grow.
Bucky McMillan is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, head coach of the Samford Bulldogs. A lot of people around here remember Bucky coaching at Mountain Brook, and you know this, Bucky. We've known you for a long time. There are a lot of people that doubted you, that said you can't go from the high school level to the college level like this and be successful. What have you learned? I mean, I know you've had to have learned something. What have you learned from the time that you took this Samford job to right now about being a college head coach?
Well, when it comes to the straight high school coaching, you know, there's been very few that have kind of made that jump, you know, straight from high school, but there's been several that have had more time in high school, like Oates at Alabama, than they have in college, and have been very successful, you know. And if you kind of go back and look at it, I think who else? Let's see, Beeline maybe was a high school coach for a while, John Thompson.
Yep.
And so the thing that I'll tell you is, when I'm in these college games, for me, I've been a head coach my whole life. I've never done anything but that. It just feels like another day at the office for me, because what generally happens, and this is not a knock to anybody because people can go about it different ways. It's not like I've been an assistant coach and then I find myself in the fourth quarter in the first game of the year and it's my first time to call a timeout.
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't think this is about necessarily me, but I think that more high school coaches need to be looked at, because the reality of it is, a lot of people that hadn't been in that spot, it's a lot harder for those guys on game day. Now, if you ask me what's the difference between high school kids and college kids, I would say that the biggest difference from where I'm from and being able to work with kids for so many years compared to getting them for maybe 1 to 4 years is there's actually less coaching involved in college. I know that sounds crazy, but it's harder. It's harder because you have them for a shorter period of time to develop the guys that you would if you had them like we did when I was at Mountain Brook High School from, 3rd grade all the way up. You can really develop those guys. Once they're there at 20 years old, the bad habits are a little bit harder to break. So, that's the reality of it, that you got to do whatever you can to fit and mold that group in a short period of time.
I said this about Urban Meyer when he took the Jacksonville Jags job. I said he's going to lose more this year than he's lost in his last 6-7 years of coaching. And going back to year one last year where you guys, only won 6 games, you lost 10 of your last 11 games. How difficult was it going from a powerhouse, an elite program like Mountain Brook, and basically winning every night out to losing 10 of your last 11 games?
It's not easy, that's for sure. And, we kind of ended the season with with the circumstances of the injury and the COVID, with like 6 scholarship players. So it was a really interesting deal. We have Coach Reball, coaching legend, who is my assistant coach who I played for in college. And we're down so many players. He's playing in practice as a practice dummy. So coaching legend, but player legend at age 70 is not what we really envisioned in the season. But, we had to make 10 in some ways. But no, that wasn't easy. But we knew this, that a lot of times, like, winning down the road happens in circumstances like that. And I really think a lot of the wins we're having this year was a result of kind of setting, and I know it's an overused word, setting the culture the way we kind of wanted it last year, irrespective of the results, So I think a lot of that is paying off for this season.
You've given a lot of credit to the players, obviously, your coaching staff, the student body. But I got to mention the business community seems to be rallying around you at Samford in this basketball program. Like I've been in Birmingham covering sports for 25 years, 30 years now. I don't think I've ever seen the business community as united supporting Samford athletics and Samford basketball like they are right now. And I think part of that is you. How important is that, having some real boosters and financiers behind you as you want to build this dream program at Samford?
Well, personally, it means a great deal, and it's impossible for us to have success at Samford without that. That's for sure. I'm from here. I'm from Birmingham. I played high school basketball at Mountain Brook, then I played college basketball at Birmingham Southern. And if it wasn't for the support of those people, I would have never been the head coach at Mountain Brook. I would have never been the JV coach at Mountain Brook.
Right.
I would have never been the head coach at Mountain Brook. A lot of those people, heck, our booster club rivaled a lot of colleges when I was at Mountain Brook. Okay. Like, we raised a lot of money, had a lot of people support our program, and they supported me. And so getting to this position, I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for those people who helped me along the way. And I dang sure wouldn't have been in this position if it wasn't for Dwayne Reball, who gave me, a skinny little white kid who couldn't even barely touch the rim, a scholarship to play at Birmingham Southern. Right. So all of those things, when I'm in this position, I take great pride in it and I understand the responsibility of it. But all of those people are helping build this at Samford, and that's got to continue for us to be successul.
And another one of those guys, your dad, and I've met your dad through Frank Bromberg, and obviously I've met you through Bromberg, and he kind of told me the story, but wanted to give you an opportunity to give a little more background on it, about when you were a young player and how you got better. Your dad would drop you off at a certain gym every single day where you were going against better competition to actually mold you to the basketball guy you are now.
Yeah, my dad, he wasn't from this area. He moved up here, one of his first people in his family to go to college, hard worker and all that. But he knew, being from the suburbs, that if you were going to make it in basketball, it wasn't just enough to work hard. You had to have a certain edge to you, And so, when I came along, I remember this very vividly. He would take me to this gym and drop me off, when I was going to maybe the 7th grade. And he dropped me off there early in the summer and said, "I'm going to take you every day." Drop me off there at 10 a.m., right? I go in there, said, "I'll pick you up at 5. I'm the only dude from the suburbs playing in this gym. Only guy that you walk in the gym, everybody's looking at you. They wouldn't let you even get in the game. Bro, get off the floor, man. You're too young. You're 12 years old. All these guys are 18 years old. You're not getting in this game. So I remember that. So I come back to the car, picked me up at 5, said, how'd it go? And they wouldn't let me play. So I would be back tomorrow. Same deal. Comes back, drops me off June 2nd. Same deal. Drops me off 10 a.m. I'm like, you going to come in? They're not going to let me play. No, I'm not coming in. You got to get in the game. There's 40 people in there playing. They didn't let me in. Sit there from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This goes on 3-4 days. I just remember like the last day we're coming back, I don't want to go. He said, oh, no, you're going. And so he says, they're not going to let me play. So just like, all right, well, then you're going to end up sitting there all the way from now until the end of August. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, kind of, I can tell you where the story goes. You get fed up and you develop an edge inside yourself. Like, I'm playing. I'm on the floor. Y'all can play at 11. Y'all can play around me, But the story was, the vision of my dad was that it's not good enough just to work hard. You have to have an edge to you. That's helped me in coaching a great deal. And it certainly helped me when I was at Mountain Brook, because I think when people think Mountain Brook, people may not think athletically that's going to be a basketball team that's going to have a massive edge to them. So I think we were successful because we were a suburban school. We were smart, but we developed a certain edge. And at Samford, I think our players right now have a tremendous edge to them. That has a lot to do with the players we recruited. But I credit my dad for a lot of what my philosophies are coaching-wise, is playing with that certain edge that you see all great teams play with.
Great story.
Yeah. So, hey, once you got on the court, how did you play?
I played hard. That's all I know. And after you get in one time, you're in the rest of the summer. But what's wild is a lot of the people that I met in that game went on, and some of those people that I met, their sons ended up coming to Mountain Brook and playing for me years later, just because they respected it. I played with them every summer from that point on. So it's a cool story.
Fantastic.
3:00 tip at Chattanooga. Samford is there. Chattanooga 69 in the net today. In the Ken Palm, they are 77. So it's a great matchup for Samford. Coach, best of luck. Always fun talking with you.
Thank you, Bucky.
Appreciate y'all having me. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care. That is Bucky McMillan, the head coach of Samford University. JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline is where you found Coach.